that, we have to get into the bulk of this New York Times piece. So I'm just going to set the table a little bit. The 80-year-old would-be Queen of Graceland and self-appointed gatekeeper of all things Elvis, which is so pathetic and so ghoulish, has been making the media rounds for her new memoir. Trust me, do not buy this book. I have it. I've read it. Don't buy it. It's called Softly as I Leave You. Now, if that isn't a Freudian title for days, given what we are talking about.
Priscilla Presley has just released a revealing new memoir, Softly as I Leave You, Life After Elvis, in which she opens up candidly about the turbulent years following Elvis Presley's shocking death in 1977. The book dives deep into the Presley family's personal struggles and the complicated legacy of the king of rock and roll. However, not everyone agrees with Priscilla's depiction of events, most notably Elvis's cousin, Donna Presley.
I'm Donna Presley, and I would like to welcome you to my Donna Presley official YouTube channel. Today I come with a heavy heart, something I don't like to do and usually don't do, but there comes a time when you have to speak and silence is no longer an option. I have stayed silent with regard to Priscilla Bowyer, but there comes a time when a person takes a step too far. I knew her from the very beginning. I was there when she came into Elvis's life after Anita had gone. I saw and heard much, and many things I have chosen not to reveal. I know exactly who she is. In her book, she even claims that my grandma was so upset that she was leaving. This is not the case at all. My grandma knew exactly how cold she could be. To profess closeness to her in the book, while disgracing her family in public, is hypocrisy of the most calculated kind. I say this now out of love for my cousin Elvis, for my Uncle Vernon, my mom, and for my grandma, who would be outraged and hurt at the manner in which Priscilla has continued to stain the name of this family. Her recent book repeats falsehoods. I reject her claim that Elvis had drug addiction issues. For Priscilla to make an accusation is not only false, it is disgusting. The public should remember that from 1973 until Elvis's death in 1977, Priscilla was not living at Graceland. She cannot speak with authority about those final years. Elvis was not an addict. He would not be able to maintain his life. He would not have been able to maintain all the many wonderful and fabulous things and incredible things that he did that are still touching people today, 48 years after his death, if he was an addict. He was surrounded daily by his father, his grandmother, and our family within the home. He could not and would not have lived such a life. It is also false for her to say that Grandma was the only family left at Graceland. My Aunt Delta lived in the mansion, and my mother lived just behind on the property. Once again, this is the erasing of the family, the deliberate removal of those who were there, who gave their lives and their presence and their love to Elvis, struck from the truth with intent, as if the family itself were an inconvenience to be eliminated. And let me be clear, I will not tolerate her continued erasing of the family, nor her efforts to silence the Presleys. I will rebuke it in every time with truth, with evidence, and with the weight of lived experience. Equally untrue is her statement that Elvis and his mother Gladys were reinterred at the Memorial Garden just 2 days after his funeral. The truth is that reinterment did not occur until October 2nd. Even the dates of the sacred family events are being altered, showing a disregard for both accuracy and for the family's truth. I must also defend Lisa Marie Presley. She was a talented, intelligent, and caring soul. Her life after Graceland presented challenges, but part of that pain come from being severed from the family who loved her and from the home that was truly hers. In her own book, Lisa bravely admitted to abuse suffered at the hands of her mother's boyfriend. That reality, not some imagined genetic weakness inherited from Elvis, was part of the burden that Lisa carried, along with her own personal issues that Lisa documented in her own book. For Priscilla to now discredit her daughter's words by suggesting that Lisa's testimony should be dismissed on the grounds of her own struggles is not merely unjust, it is a betrayal of the highest form. It is an attempt to strip Lisa of her credibility, to discredit her voice, and to diminish the truth she fought to put into public record. Nobody, not even her mother, had the right to attack her truth in that way. Elvis deserves to be remembered in truth, not in scandal, and his daughter Lisa deserves the same, to be honored as a gifted, compassionate, and resilient woman she was, and for the wonderful man that he was. In years after Elvis died, Priscilla Bowyer continued with the same tactics in her interviews, on television and in print. She would smile, soften her voice, say something pleasant, and then in the same breath, deliver something cutting and demeaning about Elvis. It was veiled in charm, wrapped in performance of sweetness, but what followed desecrated his memory. This became her pattern for her deliberate way of diminishing him. Those attacks scarred our family, and most of my loved ones passed away from this world carrying that pain. I had prayed that time would bring wisdom, that age would bring peace, but she has not stopped. Even now, she still claims Elvis was the love of her life. What kind of love humiliates a man in death, undermines his daughter, and wounds his family? Love does not do this. And so I stand the last of my line, unbowed and fighting for the honor of Elvis, for his daughter, and for my family. The time for silence is over. James 3:16 says, "For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder in every vile practice." I'm sorry that this had to be kind of a tough show today, but it had to be said, it had to be done. So thank you so much for being here, for joining me, and may God bless you in every possible way.
Donna methodically dismantles Priscilla's narrative, accusing her of attempting to erase Elvis's family from the story of his life. I will not tolerate her continued erasing the family, nor her efforts to silence the Presleys, Donna declares adamantly. I will rebuke it every time with truth, with evidence, and with the weight of lived experience. Donna Presley is no outsider to the Presley saga. She is a daughter of Nash Presley, Vernon Presley's youngest sister, making her Elvis's first cousin. With a lifetime spent close to the family, she spent countless summers at Graceland and even lived there for a significant time.
Everybody from Memphis, Tennessee, Sundowners Club here. Just wanted to comment on the book that has come out, if you could call it a book, by Priscilla Presley, or Priscilla Beaulieu, or Priscilla Garibaldi, whatever you want to call Priscilla. And it's called Softly as I Leave You. And in my opinion, this book is just a bunch of garbage. It's just an ultimate grift. It's another grift from Priscilla, in my opinion, to capitalize on the name Elvis now that she's been effectively removed from any real role at Graceland and EPE per Joel Weinshanker and Riley Keough. So look no further than the title of the book. I saw on a UK show where they were giving Priscilla credit for this great title, Softly as I Leave You. Well, she didn't come up with that title. That was a composition from the piano written by Italian composer Tony DeVita. And it was later performed by Frank Sinatra and Elvis. And Elvis is famous for doing the spoken word of Softly as I Leave You. Go check that out if you want to hear Elvis's emotion and passion in reading the spoken word of Softly as I Leave You. But she grifts on that. She takes the title like it's something she created. And then there's so many other inaccuracies, in my opinion, that come out of the book. around how Graceland was effectively started. Not that Vernon did it with the bankers that Elvis used to do business with that were originally National Bank of Commerce, and setting up Graceland as a revenue stream to protect the family in the future for Lisa. No, it's all Priscilla, right? Priscilla's the one that came up with the idea. Priscilla's the one that saved it. You talk to people in Memphis and people that are still alive, people that were involved with all that, and you'll hear a different story. So just putting that out there. Another thing is she contradicts her daughter, her late daughter, and what was written in the book From Here to the Great Unknown about the alleged assault from Michael Edwards. She even changes the age. Lisa says it happened at one age. Priscilla says she didn't hear about it until later. And it's just a way of covering Priscilla's butt around allegations of what was happening in her household. And it's just, it's par for the course for the history of the character of Priscilla Presley, Beaulieu, Garibaldi, whatever you want to call her. Here's the reality. This book could sell 10,000 copies. It could sell 1 million copies. But at the end of the day, it's just a grift. And people aren't going to remember this book. And in 50 years, here's a question. Will they remember Priscilla Beaulieu, Presley, Garibaldi, whatever her name is? No. She'll be a footnote in history. And what people will remember is the greatness that was Elvis Aaron Presley. The man who came from literally
the profound
nothing,
losses she's
as poor
endured.
as poor
The
could
memoir revisits pivotal moments, including her decision to leave Elvis Presley, her daughter's tragic death, and her own reinvention through grief and resilience. Yet amidst this heartfelt tribute, there lies a striking omission that has fueled speculation and intrigue. Her granddaughter, Riley Keough, is notably absent from the book's dedication. Priscilla honored those she had lost, such as her daughter Lisa Marie Presley, her grandson Benjamin Keough, her mother, and her late ex-husband Elvis Presley. She also included a tender message to her son Navarro Garibaldi, saying he comforts her in the absence of those others. However, Riley, as well as her younger half-sisters Harper and Finley Lockwood, were not mentioned. This exclusion stands out, given the memoir's otherwise wide-reaching focus on family and loss, and points to the complicated dynamics beneath the surface. Their fraught relationship gained public attention following a legal battle between Priscilla and Riley in 2023 concerning Elvis Presley's Graceland estate, of which Riley is the sole beneficiary. A letter written by Riley to Priscilla was made public amid a 2025 lawsuit brought against Priscilla by her former business partners. In the letter, Riley expressed pain over the conflict, stating, "It is really hurtful that after years of me trying to resolve your and my mother's broken relationship and restore our family, you are taking me of all people to court." This legal dispute shocked many fans and brought to light deep-seated family tensions. Despite public perceptions of a feud, both Priscilla and Riley have since insisted they share a close bond. In interviews throughout 2024 and 2025, they each reaffirmed their affection and mutual respect.
It is hot tonight, right off the press. Right off the press. It's going to be an interesting few days. But, yeah, I've got information about Riley Keough upset about Priscilla Presley's memoir. That's right. Riley is mad at her Nona. So let's find out more about this and see what there is. Now, guys, know that this is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, guys? All right? It is. But this is based on my own opinions and the research that I do. It's also based on what's in the news. And right now, Riley Keough is in the news and in the now, and she's spilling some tea. So let's get into it. Okay, guys? All right. So let me change this so I can see. Riley Keough upset about Priscilla Presley's revelations in Memoire, but she's holding her tongue. Yes, she's holding her tongue. I'm trying to read this. Let's see here. Priscilla Presley's scandalous memoir reveals her true feelings about late daughter Lisa Marie, suggesting her birth destroyed the beauty's marriage to Elvis Presley and charging the Songbirds' 2-year union with Michael Jackson in 1990s was a PR stunt concocted by Michael Jackson himself. Those are just some of the startling bombshells dropped in the 80-year-old Priscilla's tell-all book, Softly as I Leave You, Life After Elvis, which should really be called Softly as I Lied to You All. Nothing new here, folks. Which has Elvis fans fuming over her seemingly mean-spirited takedown of the dead music legend's only child, who passed away at age 54 in January of 2023. In the 336-page tome, The One-Time First Lady of Graceland, I wish they wouldn't do that because it just irritates me, because this is where she's probably getting in her head that she's the queen of Graceland, okay?
Priscilla told the Today Show, "Riley and I are very, very close. I love her to death," highlighting how they recently spent time together. Riley, in turn, described their relationship on a podcast as close and loving, even as she acknowledged the paradox of their legal disagreements. The memoir and the public revelations paint a picture of a family shaped by heartbreak and reconciliation, bound by love but marked by complexity. Priscilla's omission of Riley in the dedication may reflect past tensions, but cannot erase the bond they say they cherish today. Their story is one of enduring love through struggle, loss, and ultimately, the hope for healing, a saga worthy of both sympathy and fascination. Please tell us your mind about Priscilla and the memoir in the comments section. Please subscribe, like, and hit the notification button for more videos.